Hey everyone, and welcome to this behind the scenes look at the production process for our monthly movie for December. This movie is going to be a simple composition of a 3D animation on top of a live action footage, and we're going to go through and look at how we set up the special effects and how we composited everything together, and a bit of production and planning. So hopefully that'll be interesting to you all. So with that, we're going to head over to the kitchen where we're going to set up this little video and hopefully give you some insights into some behind the scenes stuff. Let's go see what's what. So the idea of having a visual effect is it comes from the imagination, and you can be inspired by anything. Like my flatmate, she has this nice tablecloth which is covered in the gnomes, and it'd be pretty funny if there was gnomes in the kitchen and they were stealing my pizzas. That would be quite amusing, briefly, just for a moment. Have gnomes running across the table eating the pizza. And I think we can do that simply, quickly and fun. And that's what it's about. It's about creating something fun. So we're going to set up like this. Right, so ideally we want the effect to be in the kitchen. What's going to happen is, oops, get my fingers out of the way. Right, so we want the pizza to be here. Let's use the plate to represent the pizza. And we want the gnome to come out from behind the kettle, run up to the pizza, grab a slice of pizza, drag it back behind the kettle, and it all disappears, and that's it. That's the clip, that's the idea. So we need to make the space, so get rid of things we don't need. Throw that over there, and I don't want this chopping board, so stick that out of the way. So that's going to be by the sink. It'll be nice hot steaming pizza straight from the oven. Have a random thing. If I move the kettle out a bit more, now we can see how we're going to do it. So I have to think how I'm going to do the shot. So do I want to include everything from this angle, in which case the gnome is going to walk out there, do the thing, walk back, or do I want to follow the thing, see the thing there, see him walk out, follow the thing, take the pizza, follow him back, or do we want it from the front, seeing the whole thing again, but the guy comes out here and then goes back. So we have it from that angle coming in, close up, or from that angle. I think if we do it from that angle it's going to be harder to create the effect, because we can see right behind the kettle he'll have to come out. We'll have to do a lot more masking of the kettle itself. We're going to have to mask it anyway, but from this position you can see behind. You're going to see where the pizza goes down, it's going to stick and it's going to get jammed around the side. But if we come here, we can pull the pizza off the plate along. Pizza will go behind, so it'll be on the plate like that. Drag, 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 drag. And then gone, yeah? So we don't need to do anything more, we can just like, oh no, where's it gone? And of course we have the hole behind the kettle we can see, so we'll have to be mindful of that when we are coming round. So we don't want the pizza to come here, but if it does, it's not a big deal because we can mask this off and hide that. The other big thing is the speed, how long we're going to watch it for, because we're going to be moving. The shot we want is going to be handheld, because it's filmed on a handheld camera, so I don't want it like, no one wants that, because that's shit, and it's what everybody tries to do. That's what people think the handheld effect is. I want to hold it steady, like we're focusing on something, something's there, something's happening. So we're going to have the pizza carved up on here, have a piece of string coming around the kettle. I'm going to have to pull it this way so that it pulls the pizza along that way. So I just, yeah, but off screen. If we use a fishing wire, that should help hide it. It should help it be more invisible. So that's the thing we want. So now we have to think about the speed of how we're going to do it, because if we do it too fast, it's going to take the animating, and we want to walk. How fast do we want to walk? I'm not sure. Let's move the kettle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Start that again. 1. So that's 4 seconds of steady walking, or it can scurry, and that's 2 seconds. And then drag, 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 drag. And that's maybe 10 seconds. Let's try that again. Drag, 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 drag. About 7 seconds. So that's the animation time we need. 5 seconds in. Grab, take it out, 7 seconds. So all in all we're looking at about 15 to 20 seconds worth of animation. So that shouldn't be too bad, shouldn't take us too long to animate if we do a scurrying walk cycle thing for the initial one, and then a drag, drag, drag. That will have to be animated, because the next thing we need a shadow catcher for shadows, and we need to model the pizza slice as well, so that catches shadows and gives reflections and things. Also, speaking of reflections, the model is not going to be super glossy, so we can just do a simple HDR setup with we don't have to go in too detailed with that. We can just we use a local lights or something. In the scene lights. Hopefully that'll work. We'll try it anyway. yeah, because mostly it's all reflected light off here. Everything is white mostly, so bounce lighting can be white. We have a yellowish lamp there for the main light that just fills the room with a natural light, so we don't need to go too excessive with the HDRs. It's not like we're using the toaster, so we don't need reflections. The kettle, however, it would be nice if we could get a couple of glossy reflections in the kettle. It doesn't have to be too much, because it's the reflections themselves don't really show up on camera unless we're really close, but we should be okay, we should get away with that. Alright, so basically that's the plan, that's the setup, and now all we have to do is cook the pizza. Someone's had the pizza already. Oh no, we have got gnomes. Wait, no, okay. Okay, so we've got our pizza nice and warm. Our kettle's set up, and if we hold focus out there, that's going to be ideal. And you'll see we've got some just standard fishing line, 0.25 millimeters thickness, and I've threaded it onto a little needle there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to thread through the edge of the pizza, tie it off, and then we can start the effect. Alright, just give me 1 second, I'm going to have to prop the phone up. That'll do. Okay, so you probably can't see what I'm doing exactly. Just threading the thread through the pizza, and like I said, tying it off. If I can find the end, there we go. Okay, sounds like my garlic bread is done as well. Bonus. Okay, so now if you look, we have the thing, and that will pull the slice nicely. Okay, so we're going to take our thread, I'm going to wrap it round the kettle and hook it over the lip. So if I do that and pull it tight, there we go. Right, so my thread is coming down there to the pizza, and let's do the shot. Okay, we can see. Right, in 3, 2, 1, and walking. 1, 2, 3. 5 seconds, grabs the pizza and starts to pull, pulling. Go. Walks out, gives the finger, walks back in and over. And we're done, that's it, that's the shot. So now I'm going to go enjoy my pizza and my garlic breads, and we'll get into editing. Talk to you soon. So here we are in Blender, and I'm just doing a simple poly model. I started out with the face. This one, it didn't go too well, as you can see on the close-ups. The features and the especially around the mouth was a terrible job, and I had to restart and do the whole thing over a couple of times. I did get a lot of help by watching tutorials by Jan Sculpts on YouTube, which is a really good channel for anyone who's wanting to learn how to sculpt. As you can see, my first draft is the ugliest looking thing imaginable. The features are all wrong and it's really quite hideous, but I did end up making quite a reasonable model, and this is the main model. At the stage of baking, I'm baking the ambient occlusion maps here from the Multi-Res Sculpt. I didn't bake anything from the Dynatopo Sculpt, obviously, because that's not the practical way to do it, apparently. I'm doing a bit of baking, and I'm just checking out the model. It's probably, you can't see it as well here, but I think you can tell it looks a lot better than it did in the original sculpt. So once we finished all the baking and texturing, I added some details to the what's it called, the displacement map. I started off with a texture that I just overlaid. This is the texture before I scaled it down. Then once I'd finished the model and texturing, I moved on to the animation. I rigged the model with a simple rig. I don't use add-ons like Rigify, I prefer to rig them myself. It has a full IK, FK switching rig. The legs are simply IK rigs, IK constraints on the legs. There's no other deformations, and it's rigged so that when he walks his hat bobs along as well. The weight painting is not too bad. I have a bit of problems where he goes through his belt occasionally, but shape keys can fix that. But at the end of the day, the model is going to be so small in the scene that you're hardly going to see it, and I doubt if you'll see any of the major glitches that happen. So I'm just going to wing it and see how it goes, and that could be a problem, but we deal with these things. Okay, I made a couple of animation actions so that I could perform a walk cycle and some sneaking actions, and I could have him jumping and things with joy. I ended up not using them as such. I went out and I ended up having to animate the thing frame by frame because I couldn't get the actions to work the way I wanted. It was a bit of a mess when it came down to the actual integration, because there's something about when you're in pose mode and then you move the armature animation interferes with the pose mode animations, and it's all a bit confusing, but not to worry, we sorted it out. It's a thing that we have to learn how to do properly. We will get there eventually, hopefully, one day. It's all about practice. So with that, I'll leave a link to the final result, and if you check out the website, which we will leave a link for, you can download this model. And don't forget to like and subscribe the video for more content like this, only better hopefully. See you soon.